Hello, I'm Transformers fan G138.
And hello, I am SoraCloud4455.
And we're doing a collaborative video review on the 2008 Bionicle series, basically toy line. This here is Kopaka, my personal favorite. One of the original 6 Bionicle from the original story in 2001.
Yes, this is true.
It was the first, his character was the first one I ever got. I really enjoyed him as a kid. So this is like, I went out, I stopped collecting Bionicle for like the longest time. So when I saw his name come back up as yet another version, I immediately decided to get the entire 2008 line of the heroes at least. I didn't really get the Makuta. But
it's because the Makuta were stupid.
Yeah, they were kind of bad designed. Although, I really have liked the Pterodax look-alike, even though he wasn't really Pterodax, but... So, we'll get into this character. This is Kopaka, like I said previously. He's got the mask of X-ray vision, see-through things, and he's got the power of ice, which is really cool. Anything else on the abilities there?
Not particularly.
Okay, so he comes with this weapon, which I'll talk a little bit about what it is technically supposed to be. This piece of it is a cannon that shoots spheres of light, and that's probably never going to be found again, but that's okay. I have extras.
Because when they don't look like spheres of light, they look like spheres of mercury, really.
Plastic. But, yeah, it's interesting. They're the same kind of spheres that were used in previous releases of what were those things called? Phantoka, maybe? Yeah.
I do believe so.
Phantoka. They used translucent green ones in that series, though.
Yeah, those were better than mercury-colored pieces of crap.
But in addition to this, he came with an ice bayonet. Whatever that's supposed to mean. That's this thing. Yeah. No. Kopaka should not have an ice bayonet. Please turn off your phone during the duration of this review.
That was an accident.
Nah, I'm kidding. So, yeah, the basic weapon just kind of like clips in his like hand here and fires. It's got like a laser targeting line here as well as one on his face, which is kind of weird. If you look and compare this to a previous version, which if I thought ahead, I would have had a previous version of the mask, but his eye, his X-ray vision eye, was always on the other side of his head.
Yeah, I've noticed that actually.
So, but part of the Phantoka, I believe this series was called, line of set of 3 of the original 6 Bionicle had the ability to fly in the big cavern of, oh my god, I honestly don't remember the name of the cavern now.
And neither do I, because I'm not good with made-up names.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe on another review I'll look it up. I have the comic books. Carter Nui or something. It started with a K. It was basically the body of Matanui's heart. And they had to find and use the mask of life to resurrect Matanui. So, anyway, they're flying around up top battling Makuta, kind of distracting them while the rest of the team went and tried to find the mask. Which was interesting because that was the entire storyline of the previous 2 series involving the Toa Ignika. Or, Ignika, sorry. Ignika is the name of the mask of life. Go figure. So, Kopaka features wings that fold down, which is kind of neat. Kind of like a jetpack thing back here. Supposedly it's supposed to go like this, but I don't like how the wings are so low. So I prefer to actually have the wings up a little bit, kind of like this. So personally, I don't know. What do you think? Wings look better here or here?
To be honest, I think they look better lower, but that's just my opinion.
Well, that is the way they're originally designed. I think if there was a way to move this higher, the whole setup a little bit higher, that would be really nice, but not without significant overhaul at least. So he's a really great figure. I like his mask comes off. You can place other masks on. You can also place the original mask on him too, which is an interesting concept, but it's there. My big question is, in the story-wise, when they got upgraded originally from their original forms, they all had golden masks that had all of the other 6 powers. When they were upgraded for the first time, why didn't those masks carry over? I know they ended up getting more powerful masks, but really, how much more powerful can you make an X-ray vision or underwater breathing mask, right?
Well, I guess by attaching a giant red stick to it, it makes it more powerful.
Well, interestingly enough, story-wise, Phantoka, a character in the Bionicle universe, who originally developed the upgrades the first time they were upgraded, back in 03, I believe, he originally created those upgrades for these heroes, predicting the war between them and the Makuta. And in story-wise, these guys went on a journey to find him, and when they did, he's like, "Oh yeah, you guys shouldn't be here, but here, have some these really powerful weapons, and these in this set of armor and these new masks. The masks are the same ones you have, except now when you go into a new world or realm, your armor will shift to match what you need." Interesting. So when and then he teleported into Cardranui, or whatever you pronounce it, the core of the universe, and their armor shifted into flight gear, which was pretty awesome. Agree?
Yeah, I agree. Flying is cool.
So we'll just talk about the articulation now.
Sure.
Sound good? Okay, so he's got, like every other Bionicle, he's got ball and socket joint here, 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 on his elbow. His armor does block some of his movement. Like, if I take that off for a second, he's got a lot more variety of movement there, but it just kind of looks stupid without.
Especially because there's a giant stick poking out of his arm.
Yeah, that's removable too. His wings can actually fold up as well, and his head's on a ball and socket joint as well due to the construction. The overall design of the mask, this area of the mask kind of gets in the way and hits his armor here, so it's very easy to see that when I'm moving that around here. Like, he can't look down, but he can look up, which is important when he's flying. Getting odd looks from Sora Cloud here, so
He can bend his knees.
yeah, you can get him in some pretty awesome poses, even with this huge, heavy weapon of his. But, like I said, he's got an ice bayonet.
Which is by far the dumbest idea I've ever heard.
Kopaka is supposed to have a sword. Give him a sword. It's why I liked him so much. He had a really cool sword. This one, to be exact, a little chewed up for my dog here, but it's really awesome. It kind of had like 2 blades with a space in between. What's your opinion on the original weapon?
The original weapon was actually pretty damn awesome.
By far the best of the Toa weapons, maybe besides the flame sword that Tabu
the flame
originally
sword
had.
was freaking awesome too.
Yeah, because all the flames weren't actually flames; they were like metal in the shape of flames, and it really was cool in the comic book, definitely. And then when they got their first upgrade, he ended up with these ski weapons. I don't have the other one handy, but I did bring this one. And also, he also had these shields too. Kopaka originally had these shields, which was interesting because it gave him the sword and shield character, where Tahu was the sword and gun kind of like fighting, style without the shields. Yeah. But I kind of was disappointed that this guy didn't have a shield.
I was disappointed too, to be honest, because the shield was the coolest part about him.
And him being my favorite character, I was a little disappointed with the sword as well. I'm like, come on. That's why I like the character so much. So, I actually bought, can you hand me that green Makuta behind you? Yep, Mutran, I believe his name is. I mean, it's either Mutran or I'm confusing that with the Matoran that came with him. When I do the review of this guy with Sora Cloud here, I'll make sure I get the right name right. But when I got this guy, let's see if we can fit him on the camera here. When I bought this guy, he came with a sword and a spear, which is in the box somewhere, and I'm not going to bother getting that. But I basically took the sword from him and gave it to Kopaka. Since it's the same sword, the Toa Ignica, the Toa that was made by the Mask of Light, for the Mask of Life, not Light, sorry, Life. So, he now has a sword. Yeah. Now Kopaka can truly be Kopaka. And I do have the larger shield that came with the second version. The shield was always for me. I prefer just sword displaying, but I would at least prefer to see him with a shield. Any input on the sword? I like how the sword looks.
Yeah, the sword looks actually pretty awesome on him, to be honest, because, well, one, Kopaka always had a sword, and two, mostly him just carrying around one big bulky cannon thing. It's not going to strike much fear into people if they see a bayonet on there, so...
Yeah, especially because most of his attacks are blade attacks. Because, according to the story, they had very limited ammo. Because every time they fired, they actually used the light around them. And since there was only a limited amount of light in Cardanui, until Matanui was turned back on. In addition to when I bought this guy, I was originally only going to buy Kopaka. So I actually bought the Matoran that went with him. It's the only Matoran I brought. I can't remember his name for the life of me, and I don't think it's too important because they were kind of horrible and useless. So this guy actually came with swords, and I tried giving these swords to Kopaka. They just looked like knives, kind of like these did. They look more like daggers. It's much nicer to see a larger sword on them, especially because they got upgraded to much taller. Nowhere can I find there's a record of what his mask or the rest of the Matoran's masks are supposed to be. They kind of just dropped off the face of the earth with mask powers. Took me forever to find the Ignica, the Toa Ignica powers, the mask powers, and they change from one version to the other, unlike the originals. So the benefit with these guys is they added speed, as well as if you clip them on via these ports that were added on each Bionicle, they ended up like increasing speed and concentration. So these guys could focus on the Makuta, where these guys could focus on defense, or vice versa, which is an interesting concept, but really?
Yeah, really. It is kind of
silly. It's interesting, but at the same time, it's like... What would you describe it as?
Well, it's pretty much the equivalent of clipping a midget to your back and expecting it to make you run faster while you have more weight on your body.
Yep, and that's pretty much our video review on this. After we're done the 2008 series of the good guys, we're going to branch off into some other stuff that we both randomly have lying around.
Yeah, of course.
So, we're going to do the Phantoka first, and then we're going to move to the Mystica heroes. Interestingly enough, they took the 6 original heroes and split them up in between 2 series, which was interesting because usually there's a set of 6 good guys and a set of 6 bad guys, but the way they marketed it this time was different. They did 6 guys in the same packaging, but half of them were bad guys and half of them were good guys. So you had Kopaka, Liwa, and the original brown guy, which I can't pronounce the name, Pahuchicharu or something. I'll have Sora Cloud here pronounce the name later. But, yeah, we'll do those three first, and then we'll move on to Tahu, Galley, and Onawa. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.